Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got 2020 Hyundai Venue. Customer complained about could not go over 80 kilometers per hour and the RPM is stuck at 7,000 RPM. So I went for a drive for this one because the backstory in this one is they just recently replaced the transmission assembly, and he's not the customer is not from our area, so she just dropped by here because I think she visited in our area, and then she's saying that they have she has the same symptoms before they replaced the transmission. So I just went to check because I already drove this vehicle. What I experienced is it can go over 80 kilometers per hour. I even drive 100 kilometers per hour. But what I noticed in this one is every time I do acceleration, hard acceleration, the RPM is fluctuating. Like, let's say if I'm gonna accelerate and it goes to 3,000, it's gonna go down at 2,000, 3,000. And the only thing I noticed there is the current gear on the data PID is, let's say if I was on 6 gear, it jumps back down at 5th and then goes back at 6. That's the only thing I noticed in the data PID. But right now I'm gonna go for a test drive. As you can see there's no codes on this vehicle, and I also check if they replace the transmission, because this transmission is equipped with CVT. I want to check if they input the correct oil pressure characteristics, but I couldn't find the sticker on the transmission, so I was hold up on that scenario. So what I'm gonna do right now is, instead maybe focusing on transmission, because I know they just recently replaced it, I'm gonna go check our engine data PIDs, right? So I'm gonna go for a test drive and see. We'll just double check and see if it's not a mechanical issue from the engine that's causing that fluctuation, because it could be I'm thinking, because for the last weekend I was thinking that it could be a restricted exhaust or something like that. So I'm gonna go our data PID and record it, and then we're gonna, what do you call that, we're gonna review it if we find anything there, and then we'll just see from there. Okay, so as you can see there, this is my selected data PID. We got an actual speed, mass airflow map. So this vehicle has two combination, the mass airflow and the map, and throttle opening, intake air, the oxygen sensors, and adaptation, more or less like a fuel trims. So I'm gonna go drive this and see if we find some interesting on this one, just to rule out mechanical issue. Alright guys, so I'm now on the freeway. Let's try to go hard on this. So as you can see there, see that RPM that's jumping around. So now we're just using our OBD2 here. I can see that our absolute load there at the very bottom of the graph went up. So I'm thinking that it's not a mechanical issue. I think the engine is breathing properly, right? We're just gonna see on what's the number on that one. So I'm gonna try again. I know I'm already 100 kilometers per hour, but let's try to accelerate again. Alright guys, so here's our recording. As you can see there, this guy here is our throttle opening, and look at our intake air temperature. It's staying at 27. So if we're thinking if we have a restricted exhaust, that exhaust gas, instead of coming out, is going to go back to our intake manifold and contribute to this higher temperature reading, right? But so far as I can review this data, it's all consistent, so I don't think that we're thinking about restricted exhaust. What my concern is this engine RPM area here. So this area here, this is where I did a full throttle or wide open throttle. As you can see there, our throttle opening is 100%. Our map is no vacuum at all, 30 inches, so no vacuum on the intake manifold. Mass airflow 47, and as you can see there, engine speed, it's going up and down. So let me see what's done. This is 3,000 from 4,000. So I don't know why is it doing that. It could be from because the crankshaft is attached to the transmission, right? So I already called TACline or communicate with them on what's going on. This one, especially with this vehicle, I can just call a transmission again. Especially they just recently installed new one, and as you can see here, another one, it dips again here under actual engine speed, right? Compared to we're on throttle opening. So and I don't think we have a fuel issue here. As you can see there, it's reading 0.8, no lean. So we're gonna update you guys and see if what's the verdict on this vehicle, if we're gonna put a new transmission again or what's going on. So yeah. Alright guys, so we got a go ahead to replace the transmission for this venue, and the part came in after a few weeks. So I don't know if I could remember that we have problems when we're going acceleration during highway speeds. So first, what I always do in doing transmission so that it's easier for my body, I always remove the subframe. I know you can do it without removing the subframe, so I'm just gonna remove first this guy here on our universal joint from the rack and to our steering column, right? So that's a 12 mm. So I'm just gonna remove that. So I'm just gonna remove this guy here, so I don't have to worry about the alignment on these guys here, because I think most of the new cars, especially this Venue and Elan Cross, they have the notch on the rack, so it's just gonna go one way. So as you can see there, there's a notch there, so it's just going one way. So I'm gonna set up this car in the hoist and we'll remove some stuff underneath the hood. Okay, so we're just gonna remove whatever is on top here so we can access the bolts there for our transmission and our starter. Okay, now, so we're here now. At least everything is accessible. Next will be we're gonna remove our shifter cable, right, and the connections, whatever on the transmission side, right, and then what else? And our starter bolts, the mounting on the transmission, and that should be it. Okay, so that's out. So there's two ways to support the engine. It's either you put a jack stand on the oil pan, or there's a support bracket here so that the engine will be just stable, right? So I think I'll do that. I think that's the best way for me right now, because at least I have some points there on each side of the car to put the support, right? So I'm gonna grab that and then I'm gonna hook up our support. Okay, so that's set up. I'm just gonna lift up the vehicle and let's remove our tires, outer tie rod, and stabilizer link. And since we're removing our subframe, what we're gonna do is wait. So wait, before I remove all this stuff, right? Because I got used to doing Tucson transmissions, and this is easier because it's gonna be separated from the ball joint, right? But right now the control arm or the ball joint type is it's a nut on the upper side of the control arm. So let me think if do I want to go on that route or just leave the subframe. You know what? I'm just gonna leave the subframe. So what we're gonna do now is let's remove our drive shaft, right? So we just have to remove our nut here, and then I'm just gonna pry out the whole drive shaft. So we just need to remove our knuckle bolts, the caliper side, so that I can just, you know, extend it more. So let me remove the caliper. So our left side drive shaft is out. So I'm just gonna do the other side, same thing, and put this back. Right. So I'm just gonna put our. Oh no, I'm gonna remove the right side, and I think that should be it. Okay, so I removed the right side already. So I just removed this cover here, the access point for transmission mount, and then we're just gonna lift up the vehicle. So underneath the vehicle, we're gonna remove our bracketer for exhaust manifold, so that we can access one bolt there. Okay, so now I'm gonna start removing these bolts here on this side, right? And then I'm gonna leave two bolts, and then we can work on this side here of the transmission, the front one. Then we can start removing the transmission. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is let's remove this mount here. That's 17. Let's remove this guy here. maybe that lit one. Oh, so where is it? I don't know. We have to ask Alex. I don't know. Someone maybe took it there. Okay, and also before we forget, the torque converter. I have to remove that. Right, so let's turn this crankshaft. So make sure you always turn it clockwise. Alright? Okay, that's 17 millimeters. And I think we have 4 of this. Why? She said she returned it? Yeah. Just tell her to buy another flash drive, man. Okay. Okay, also there's only 3 for this venue. Okay, and you can always check it. You can just remove what do you call that? The reluctor wheel for the starter. You can just move it, meaning that there's no more bolt that's holding that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the starter bolt, the one that's at the bottom one, and some brackets. I think there's just 2 brackets here, 12 millimeter. Which ano? Huh? Yeah, but you know that all those G80, GG80, and GG70 has separate platform. Okay. And then for a GG70, it's only for GG70. And he's asking for a GG80. No. Let's take it somewhere. Let's start right. Ah. Okay. Uy. Okay. So starter bolt is out. Now we have one more here. So I'm gonna grab our transmission jack to support before we remove this one bolt and our mount. Got some fit. Okay. So now I'm just gonna remove the bolt here on the side, these guys here, and then I guess we can start lowering the transmission. Okay, so there was an air box here at the bottom. I removed it so that I have more space to go forward. As you can see there, it's out. So now we're just gonna removing our transmission. I think it should be smooth now. Hello? Okay, so the new transmission is in the jack stand now. So as you can see there, they put a reminder that we have to put the CVT fluid because this is a CVT transmission, or IVT they called it, right? And it's a special fluid. We have to use that specific fluid, not other fluid. And sometimes they don't put this note, so meaning there's a fluid inside already, and we just have to double check the level. So as in this case, we have to put the fluid. And also, this is the important thing. This is a coding or what I call that, serial numbers to relearn the oil pressure characteristic of the transmission, right? So usually I just leave it like that, and then I'll take a picture so that to it's easier for me to input it later on the scanner. So I think that's all about it, and then I'm just gonna install this again, and that's it. Transmission is in. I'm just gonna put our bolt on the side mount. Okay, transmission is in. I'm just gonna lower this guy. Okay, so all I need to do right now is put everything what we removed. Torque converter bolt, right? What else? The starter, the air box here inside, drive shaft, and what else? And anything under the hood, we're gonna fill up with fluid. Okay, so I put everything back together except the battery and the airbox because our um, fluid fill hole is in this guy here. So that's 24 millimeter. I just have to remove that. Oh, that's tight. Oh. Okay, as for the service information, it takes 6.5 liters. So we got this. This is the specific fluid for this IVT transmission, right? So we have to use this. Okay, so we fill up our new fluid. So we're just gonna go to our scan tool and input our oil pressure. And you go to the CVT, and it says here all pressure characteristic input. So just gonna click that. Okay. Okay, so it's either you can take a picture of it as per the scan tool, or you can just input it, right? So we're gonna do manual, and then I'm just gonna follow these numbers here. Have to make sure that it's same. So 88 B9 98 AA B A 84 776. It's okay. So now we're gonna start the car. And then we're just gonna go to our data, and let's monitor the transmission fluid sensor, temperature sensor. When it hits 60, we're gonna go underneath the vehicle again. This guy here, all pressure, all temperature sensor 22 degrees. When it hits 60, we're gonna check our fluid level, and then after that we're gonna go for a test drive. Okay, right now our temperature at 60, so we're just gonna open the level bolt there for this guy here, and it's 24 mm. So we should expect, if it's too much, we'll just let it flow, and then we should have at least a steady fluid coming out. So if it's like that, that's too much. So let's just wait a little bit. Okay, that's good enough. Just have to tighten that. Okay, so I'm gonna bring down the car and let's go for a drive. Okay, so we're out of the building now. I hope it's not traffic on our highway. It's sunny in Toronto. Okay, oh no, oh man. Yeah, it's the wiper keeps turning on because the customer has this, this kind of technology. So he's just using his right hand to turn the signal. So it's traffic on that side there, so we're not going in there. I guess I'm just gonna drive around, city driving, I guess, and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna go back and let's do a highway driving. Okay, so I'm heading back to the shop right now because I can't really go to the highway right now. So far, while I'm driving city speeds, so far I don't hear noises. Transmission shifts good, no problem at all. But I just wanna go on the highway. At least there we duplicate the problem the last time. So we're gonna test drive this vehicle tomorrow morning. Alright guys, it's the next day, so we can go to the highway right now. It should not be traffic. So, I didn't bring the scan tool, but we can monitor the RPM because we know it was fluctuating when we go accelerate at highway speed. So let me do that. So pedal to the floor, acceleration. Okay, so far nothing is going on. That's good. So I'm just gonna slow down. And then I'm gonna go hard again. Acceleration, change gear, which is good. And I'm gonna slow down. That's good. I'm happy with the result. It's changing gears, no problem when accelerating hard during highway speed. The downshift is good, so that's good. So we replace our transmission. In my case, I just want to determine that it's between transmission and engine. So all I have to do is, because I'm not an expert on the transmission, right? So I just want to know if it's an engine problem or transmission. So we knew that there's nothing wrong on driving, especially on the engine side. It was on the transmission side. So, and I don't know what happened in there, because as per the customer, that they just replaced it from another dealer, the transmission. So I don't know if they didn't put the oil pressure characteristics there. I'm not sure, because there's no sticker in there. So I guess that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have suggestions, comments, let me know. See you next time. Thank you for watching.